I wanted this just to be a quick chat, but now it's a thing.
You didn't have to respond to this shit.
Of course I'm going to.
I just let it roll by.
Nah.
She just looks at you. You've lost family before, right? Shanamir?
I would say more than I count, but I know exactly how many.
Does it ever get better?
In a way. Imagine a memory as a ball. This is gonna be a weird explanation, but yeah. And when it's just a happy one, it's just a ball. There's no problems with it, it's just there. But when something bad happens, it grows spikes. And whether you want it to be there or not, it's still there. And the spikes hurt a bit. But over time, handling them, looking back on the other memories, they wear down. They, I don't know, erode.
Okay.
It hurts for a while, or could hurt for a very long while. It depends on the person. And no matter how much you rub it down, it's still going to be bumpy. But eventually it doesn't hurt to look back on them.
Chisra looks down.
Yeah. I spent years ignoring what happens to my family and pretty much anything related to them. But eventually, I had to face it because I just couldn't bear the thought of them being lost, just hiding in the back of my memories.
Do you ever get afraid of meeting other people you like? And she looks like sort of like at the arc of tents that are sort of set up for camp.
Yeah. I don't mean to belittle that answer. Yeah. And it's scary trusting someone again. Or trusting someone for a first time, but I don't know. It's worth it. I don't know how to entirely describe that in its best sense, but it is.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm always right here. And she says that and, like, puts her arm over Nevi and, like, pulls her in for, like, a little hug.
Just her leans. Goes with it. You can tell with an at 20. You can tell there's still more on her mind, but you've given enough food for thought.
It's something.
It's something.
Anyway.
Thus your watch ends. Next up.
Hold on.
Marshall.
Marshall. Okay.
Marshall and Owen. Nevi goes to wake up her significant other.
Oh my god, they're really dating?
I thought I made that relatively clear, but yes, they are.
Good for them.
Early dregs of relationship still. especially since both of them don't really know how to have best grasp on it. But yeah, Chedamir and Nevi trade out for Marshall. And
Marshall waking up for the first time tonight. Anything interesting going on today?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
you tell him. I think you're probably better at it.
I mean, like I didn't mean to step in.
No. It's fine.
Okay,
I'm gonna go
so
put some
there
wood
was
on
a
fire.
fox with 3 eyes. And
What?
yeah, I don't. There were like 3 different colored eyes. It was like red, blue, and green. And it kind of got scared off into the forest. And we're like, we shouldn't go after it because we're going after a tree. And I doubt Marshall really wants to be woken up in the middle of the night for a fox.
Look at Nevi.
Nevi. She was like totally neutral until that last. Then she just like looks at me.
What? What'd I say? What?
Nothing. Firewood. Hear myself. Scares me. The sound of my own voice.
I didn't want to.
Disturbing.
He wasn't getting up anyways, and it was a fox. I'm going to bed.
Did you,
What?
I don't know, maybe give any sword to any fae tonight, maybe?
I'm going to bed.
Marshall will remember that. Top right of the screen.
Marshall will never forget that or let you live it down.
Anyways, Marshall, it's you and Owen. Now, Owen doesn't have a sheet for me to roll with, so we'll just say he gives you advantage on it.
That's cool. Waking tall up anyway.
But yeah, that's fair.
It's always time to
Just
exercise.
like played out. She's like, and then, how do you wake Tala up?
Do I have in my inventory?
Oh my god, no.
Okay, yeah. Just splash some water on her.
What? She's like begins to sway around. She grabs a weapon that's like next to her.
Good reaction.
Oh.
That is the right instinct. Come. It's time to train now.
What time is it? She like looks behind, like through your legs, like sort of like out into the darkness.
It is training time.
Yes. So she give me a moment to get geared. And
Toss
I
a
was just
little
like
bit more
watching
water
this.
on her. Do not take too long.
Right. Very well. Owen, like as you come out, Owen's like there. Do you? Oh, I'm always. I don't mean any disrespect by it, but I'm just. Is that effective? Being very brusque about it.
Did you see how quickly she grabbed her blade?
I mean, okay, yeah, it's yeah. Okay, so it is effective then. Okay.
Just put a hand on her shoulder. You see, good boy. Training has already begun.
Right.
And just go stretching out. Cracking neck, knuckles. Doing all stretches. Getting ready.
Getting ready.
Eating some broccoli.
Forgot about that.
He will never forget, though.
Ever.
Hey. Marshall?
Yes, Daniel. What keeps you up tonight?
Well, I'm not sure if you sort of figured out, but I'm trying to be a bard, and you know, bards know lots of stories, and I sort of figured you have a lot of stories.
Of course I have a lot of stories, and I've known some amazing bards in my time. Some of the best swordsmen I've ever known.
Really?
Oh, yes. Very wonderful. Very, very quick, very fast, very versatile, and most importantly, put on an amazing show.
I'm not sure if I could do that. I'm not really fast or good at performances.
Let me give you some advice. No one is ever fast. No one is ever fast enough. You might be quick on your feet, but it's only through years of training do you get fast.
Okay, I get that. Yeah.
You see how quick she gripped her blade? That
yeah,
is
I was a
3
bit
times
afraid.
faster than the first time she did.
He moves to say something, and then he just sort of thinks, right. Okay. Do you always wake her up like that?
No, not always.
No.
But it seemed right tonight, considering what we are going to do. But, stories.
Do you teach other things, sir? Or just fighting?
Well, to be a great warrior, you need to know other things.
Because my family had a tutor, so.
I see. And what did your tutor teach you?
Well, they taught. In all honesty, they're a bit like you. Sort of war mindset.
I see. And I pull out a spear, do some motions with it.
With
taught
that.
you the spear, pull out the sword. He taught you the blade.
The first one.
Ah. Well, keep this in mind, young one. Never limit yourself to one weapon, no matter how wonderful and effective it may be. There are many weapons in this world, some very wonderful. Why hold yourself to just one? Though, in the case of your uncle, it might be in his best interest.
Right.
Spears, yes.
Do you have lots of stories with spears?
Oh, yes, that reminds me of this wonderful story. I fought this man from Silfwall one time who was a very good
Wait.
expert in the seer.
You've been out to Zilfwall?
Oh, yes. Have you ever been to the arenas out there?
Yeah. My family and I have a lot of. Sorry, like, I guess I'm that. We have a lot of interests with it.
Well, this is a very interesting place.
Well,
But-
that's not. Yeah.
So, it was. I can't remember how many years it was ago. Not many. Right before I met Tala, it was one of my last fights. But we received a challenge, because in the exchange, we have a wonderful tradition of fighting. Some of the best gladiators in the world. But we received a challenge, challenging our honor, no less. Not even our ability, but speaking such vile things of, the exchange are weak and they do not know true combat. So, obviously me, being Marshal Militaiti to Militaiti to Marshal, could not simply accept that. So, I took my vanguard and we took to the games up there.
The Vanguard?
Ah, yes, the Vanguard. Some of the best fighters and my closest friends in all of. They were some of the best fighters. My best friend, Sitara, a wonderful Retrialius gladiatrix. That's the ones that use the spears of the tridents and the nets. Very, very talented.
You see that Owen has like already began opening his book and like writing things out.
And then there was my good friend Dazan. Oh, Dazan was an elfin bard, like the one I was telling you about. Very good, very quick with the sword.
He was fast.
Oh, very quick. Quick with the mind, quick with the sword, quick with the mouth. The last one got them in a lot of trouble.
Sounds like most bards, if stories are to believe.
Then the weirdest of my friends, Mikhail. He was a very tall but very skinny man that used the biggest maw I've ever seen in my life. Almost twice his size. I still don't know how he wielded it to this day, but he made it look easy.
How big was it?
Oh, it had to be at least 10 foot tall. He couldn't even
10
carry
feet?
it. It was ridiculous.
He just looks you up and down. And then you can see him like just hold like the tip of his pen above you, like by like from his perspective, just above you. That's God's above.
Yes, tall, very pale man. Never grew any hair. But I don't know. He was older, seen better days, but still had a lot of fight in him.
Still writing.
So, the four of us, and my friend Shadrach, of course, he was a very talented archer that did the craziest thing. He used to put blades on the end of his bows and use it in close combat. It was just a wonderful thing to see. I never
Blades
understood
at
how
the
it
end of
worked.
his boat?
Yes, it's
Oh, so
ridiculous.
at the tops in the
Mm-hmm.
with the string hooks onto.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't cut his own bowstring, but he made it work.
Huh. And you see he's not doing like a rudimentary like design like on the side. It's not like a doodle or anything like someone does in class for like no on like page tall box and like he just sort of draws it in there. It's like a figure model.
Yes, we made quite the team whenever we did a team battle, unbeaten. But we took the challenge and faced some of their best men. It started out as a how do I explain this to you? You might be unknown. Sort of like a brawl, if you will. Multiple members, like
A free for all?
10 or 10, almost like a free for all. But everyone had a band to indicate what team they were on. But
So
most of us knew each other.
a team duel.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
So it was. A lot of people do this when they have very talented gladiators come to them. They attempt to tire them out first, maybe weaken them, perhaps kill him, but not in this case. So it was the four of us versus 10 of them. And man, the exchange arena, it's not my favorite because the sand, it's all moist and sticky.
Moist?
Oh,
Sticky?
it's nothing like the sands back home or the ones we are getting now. But it doesn't feel right. Anyways, after the first round where it was the 4 versus 10 of us and we absolutely destroyed them, they, I don't know, may have been criminals or something fighting for their freedom. But nevertheless, it was only an exhibition, so no lives were taken, just disabled. Well, one guy, but he fell on his own spear running away. That's another story.
Wait. How long ago was this?
Oh,
God, he knows the story.
I don't
Ooh.
know. Tala, how long have we been together now?
She's actually about to push up. I don't
Uh,
know.
3, 4,
Few years, yes.
few years back. And
And you said this was in Silphwall?
Mhm. I don't know how many arenas you have, but it was a big one.
Keep going. Keep going. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, but I remember before I left, my teacher, Azorius, he told me that no matter what, you obey the law and the ruling of the people. something I've always lived by and something you always should. Not to say that law is always just, but as a gladiator, you are there to please the crowd and nothing else. It is not about you.
If I might interject, sir.
Mhm.
He just holds out the book that he's reading. I like recording these sorts of things. I like remembering things, and I get afraid of my own mind at times. So, but your master, I'd like to record his name the best I can.
Ah, yes. It was Azorius Bashir.
Tala stops mid push up. What? Bashir. That's I know that. That's Frajarin, right? It's a noble house.
Ah, yes, he was. Huh. I guess it was.
Tala's
but
like pushed up right now, just staring at you.
It was. I'm not mistaking him for Master Zach. He was there too, but I did not see him before I leave. He was already gone, off on his adventures.
I don't ever remember you mentioning a Bashir being your master. Yeah, a descendant of the line. I always heard that they sort of got put to death, but I don't think it's terribly, especially with the lives we live. It's not that surprising if one of them lives, and he's just like is awkwardly looking between you and down to the book, and then he looks at Tala, and Tala is just frozen. Is something the matter?
No,
Tala stands up.
It's having a little trouble remembering right now.
Are you sure? So he comes up to you.
Yes, no, it is fine. But that's not the important part.
Make me a deception check.
Oh, I mean, okay.
I believe in you. You can do it, Marshall.
I have
I'm
no
gonna
idea
say
what's
this
going
is
on.
at disadvantage
Yes.
because Marshall doesn't lie.
Marsha doesn't lie and he's shit at it. Yes.
Okay.
2 12s. Wow.
Let's see what we got. Ooh.
Hey,
Okay.
flip the numbers around. You got it.
Yeah. No. She holds out a hand. She's the height of Owen when he's sitting down this log next to the and like sort of like the neck height of Owen. You have never mentioned anything like that, and you never get anything wrong in your tales.
Perhaps I took too many hits on the head from the Chaos Shepherd. That's
I don't think that's the case, because you have plenty of concussions as it is.
huh.
Is something wrong? Yes.
It's nothing. It's just a. He was the. Huh.
What was he? Marshall? What was he to you? There's a bit of wariness in her voice and look now.
I cannot remember at the moment. But perhaps it'll come back to me.
Close that book, boy. Wait.
But I didn't even get to the best part.
You can get to it. Get back to it later. I know you don't like the topic, Marshall, but I have to ask. Are you right now?
Of course I am. But no. I am. It's just the sand getting to me. Can't remember. That's right. I remember where I met him. It was in my training to be a Dune warrior. See, of course I knew it would
What's
come
that?
back to me.
What asked immediately? What's that?
Oh, yes, see. Back in Rajara, we had what we call the Dune Warriors. They were kind of like,
Tala elbow hits Owen.
what do you call
Write this down.
a person who passes judgment? Not the person who passes judgment, but the one who carries out its actions. Like
The executioner?
No. The ones who decide if the claim is right or wrong.
The judge?
Something like that.
A
But
lawbringer?
nothing Yes, like a lawbringer. So when the crime is levied against someone, it is taken to not really a court, more like a pit of sand, and the two people pick their warriors to state their side, and whoever wins, well, that is the one who was right.
And then the other one is dead.
Sometimes, not always.
Sans take them.
Sense take us all.
She knows that.
But yes, this was before I met you, so I understand why you would not know.
Yes, before you met me.
It was good man. Good man he was.
The Bashir, did you know him personally, Marshall?
Oh yes, he took me in from as young as I can remember. I was to be his replacement whenever he ascended, I suppose.
His champion, of sorts.
Yes, that is it. See, he had another lawbringer, but his lawbringer would eventually get too old or, die. So I was to be his replacement, but he took me in as a protege of sorts.
Tala. She goes over. Well, she's right next to him, but can I see that for a moment? Sure, yeah. And she passes the, basically blank tome. Well, not blank. It's like a third filled from the front, and she begins writing something in it.
Yes, and you know what? He gave me this, and I pull out my Kofesh, my scale keeper's balance, and light it up. Ah, yes, this was his.
Writing stuff, and then can you make it a queen? Oh, it is a queen rip. So I don't estimate my strength. She passes it back.
I'll lean over. Well played.
Then she presents out the page to you. It's written in Frisian. It's names. No names you recognize. And then she does ask you, do you recognize any of them?
No one I know. It's been a long time since I was in the motherland.
She writes one thing. Writes another name. I'm entirely excited to hear this story, Sir Marshall, but he looks at Tala. But is everything all right?
Scratches the back of his neck. Yes, of course. I don't know. Sometimes Tala is just.
She presents the paperback, and it's a name. Do you recognize this one?
Oh, yes, of course. That is Master Bashir's father.
She puts the paper aside and just looks at it. So you recognize this one. It's just one name on the bottom of the page alone. But you don't recognize these ones. Yes?
No, not that I recall. But I meet so many people, you never know.
These are all Bashir's, Marshall. And she taps the list of names at the top. Descendants of your Bashir. You don't recognize any of them. None?
Did not realize he had so many kids.
She folds the paper.
maybe we'll get up with him and we head back that way.
She just continues folding the paper, just a sliver.
Anyways, what are you so on about the girl? I sent him into a wonderful story.
Yeah, it's a fantastic story. I didn't realize Frijaran society works like that. It's pretty. It still does work like that. Just like it did back then. Way back then. She says, looking down at the ground.
As it always has, and most likely always will.
How old are you, Marshall?
Not past my prime, if that is what you were getting at.
She laughs like she just heard like a crazy fucking statement. Oh, I would definitely say so. At this point.
But I don't know. I don't remember my parents. The closest thing I had to a father was probably Azorius until I met Master Zach. But I don't suppose parentage is the conversation you want to start.
You told me you had a family. Was that before or after Zach? Because I have never met them.
It was... I don't know. It's somewhere... sometime around that. And you know Isabella. She's family.
Yes. Yes, I do. And that
And-
just makes this all the more confusing.
And Satara might as well be the sister I never had.
Go back to your stories. She goes back to where she was doing push-ups.
Ah, yes. The best part. So, we went 3 for 3 with Satala scoring the biggest win of the night against a man the size of an ogre. It was a wonderful fight, I believe. I believe she took his knee off. And then,
Really large person.
oh yes, very large. Very
You-
large. Big beard.
Do you remember their armor?
Hmm. No, not so much, because I was getting ready for my fight when she was fighting. And then at the feast after, he wasn't, well, he was limping, but he wasn't wearing it. But the main event, not to brag, but I'm pretty good, was against a wonderful, wonderful master of the spear. Well, if not the best I've ever seen. But he was, well, he was past his prime.
Right.
But he wore heavy armor, I believe. As in the shield and the spear. One of the best defenses I've ever seen. So very hard to land a blow on him.
Owen draws on what, like a blank page at the end. A shield and
He
spear.
was-
Did it look like this?
Oh, yes, I would never forget that. Oh, yes, it was wonderful. Wonderful. Opened up several large wounds on my shoulders and ribs and legs.
This is like that just breathes out. Shit. Not at the store, but at the circumstance he's.
Oh, yes, it was very wonderful. But sometimes, and this is why I travel, you get set in your ways and you know too much of what you know. This was the case for this man. While he was very good at it, he was also very predictable because of it. So, there we were in combat for what seemed like hours at the time. But I knew I had to outlast him because a man his age could not keep up. That is the joy of youth, I guess you could say. So, eventually, I got the fling on him to where I opened up a nasty wound in his side. And from there, it was over. I just kept circling to his side, kept making him turn into the wound, opening up, making it very nasty and large. But the man was a warrior born. No doubt about that. When I thought I had him, he led the most vicious charge at me I'd ever seen. Just never stopped, blow after blow after blow, till he pinned me against the column. So, I knew I only could have to take him by surprise at that point. So, I dropped my own spear, and I headbutted him right in the face. It gave me enough time to stun him, and then I just went left
took
and
his
right.
spear.
Well, I dropped mine, and then I hit him left, then right, then with a knee to the open injury. And then before he had time to react, I picked him up and slammed him on the ground and got on top of him. From there, his defense started to fall apart, but it was over. He was very talented, but I was much bigger and stronger. Sad the way it turned out, though. It was only meant to be an exhibition, but they called for blood, and I had to oblige. But nevertheless, we honored him at the feast afterwards.
Huh. I am at a loss for words. And I'm a bit more afraid of the gods now.
Indeed. As we all should be. Though I suppose
I
it is
think you
foolish.
and my uncle might need to have a
Oh, I'm sure we need to have a talk about many things.
about this story in specific.
But I don't mean to offend Southwall, but I was just a better champion that day.
So I heard.
Ah, I see. I see my victory reached all across Southwater. That is wonderful.
Yeah,
Those were
you
good
should
times.
definitely. Thank you for the story, Marshall. I definitely wasn't expecting it.
Those are the best stories, though.
I suppose.
Now,
Thanks.
we have some training to do. You might want to get to sleep before the sand gets in every bit of your place.
You said so, Owen?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'll stay up. I got some things to think about. If you don't
course.
mind.
No. No mind at all. Tala, given tonight's events, I think we should train with the spear.
As you say, Dune Warrior, as you say. Never mind. Just you train. That's something specific you want to do to Tala for this training.
You see, most people only use the spear as a tip to keep enemies at bay. Then I just spin 180 and jam her in the stomach with a
Roll a hit.
Sorry, y'all, but I really go slowly but steadily. So
Is there anything you want to do during your watch?
no, I'm gonna just cook the breakfast thing I want to do. So I guess I'm gonna roll 2 bardic inspiration for the special treat, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, sure. And then we'll just have to make sure.
Yeah, I miss.
She catches it. Before you go, though,
Mhm.
we might cut session at this after this training montage. Wait, we won't cut it. I'm not saying we might. Schedule-wise, we need to figure something out.
Yes. So